Hello, my name is Megan Chen and welcome to Lil Megan. This is a channel that's meant to help you overcome your speech difficulties. Alright, in today's video tutorial, I'd like to show you how you can say a long letter S word such as superpower without stuttering or getting stuck. This is an extended version. You've probably seen the shorter version where I focus on describing the technique and giving you a very brief, concise version. When you're practicing, I strongly suggest you go back to the short version and just pause and review it and practice along. But in this extended version, I'd like to give you some additional comments and background so that you get a better idea of what are the mistakes to avoid and what works. Okay, for a long word such as superpower, it's obviously important to identify exactly where you get stuck. A lot of people come to me and say, oh, I can't say the letter S sound. I can't say a long word such as superpower. But once we do some work together, you might realize that, you can actually say the sound, the letter S sound. Where you get stuck is that you get stuck on moving on to the rest of the word. So it sounds a little bit like this. Superpower. Okay, to say a long word such as superpower, there are obviously two important prerequisite skills or perspectives. Okay, the first is to change how you think about the problem, all right? How you think about the problem. Rather than thinking, oh, I can't say the word, how am I going to say the word? Think about, how am I going to produce the sound? All right, how am I going to produce the sound? This is a very subtle but very important difference because it affects how your brain processes the entire process of saying the word. When you produce the sound, you will automatically be saying the word. But if you think, I'm going to say this word superpower, it's likely that your brain goes back to the old way of operating and you might encounter the same difficulties. Okay, secondly, you need to be able to hear and feel the individual sounds and movements. Okay, what do I mean by this? For a word such as superpower, there's obviously the letter S sound, the letter U sound, the letter P sound, and so forth. And very often it's difficult for people to hear and feel how they produce the individual letter sounds. Now the letter S sound might be easier, okay? But it's often difficult for people to hear what it's like to produce the letter U sound because it's obviously not superpower, right? There'll be superpower, just letter S and P. You actually need superpower. You need the letter S sound, the letter U sound, and they're very different. So if you place your hands over your vocal cords, you might be able to hear the difference better. So for letter S, it's all about the tongue placement. Your tongue has to be in a very precise position, and it's actually air sound. You don't actually have to activate your vocal cords, all right? If I move on from letter S to U, superpower, the letter U sound, which is a vowel, any one of A, E, I, O, U, all right? Ooh, will feel that you do need to activate your vocal cords for the vowel sound. And that's where most people have difficulty moving on to the vowel sound, superpower. Okay, so what's the solution? The solution is to say the same sounds that you need to, the letter S, the letter U, and so forth, but in a different word, so that you learn to produce the sound differently and in an easier and more fluent way. So we're using a therapy technique where you contrast what not to do versus what to do so that you've got better clarity about exactly what it is you need to address. Okay, so it's the same letter S, but you could have a very forced, what I call a very forced sound, like really forcing the air out. Or you could produce the sound in a much more gentle and soft way. So if we take a word such as encapsulate, right, and here what I've done is to help to make it easier for you to visualize what it sounds like, encapsulate. So you're emphasizing certain sounds or the syllable encapsulate, and you will automatically make the S sound that follows much softer. Okay? So if you look at this visually and say it and exaggerate the difference, you can say and hear and feel the difference. Encapsulate. And then what you want to do is to take the letter S and then say the S exactly the same way, in that soft, gentle way. All right, so it sounds like this. Encapsulate, and then just the same way. You can take another word such as supremacy, and the same way you take your attention and focus on the pre sound, supremacy, and you find that it's much easier to produce the S sound in a softer way. Okay, so how do you practice? You want to alternate between these two S sounds, all right? The very forced sound versus the very gentle sound. So S, and then S sound that you had in the word, and try in a longer and longer segment. So you have super, super, superpower, and superpower. All right, so it's the same sound, but you're producing them in very different ways. So this practice, alternating between the two sounds, will help you to achieve better control and, more importantly, immediate correction, so that you can immediately correct yourself and say what you want when you want it. Okay, this is actually one of the keys to success. It's not about learning to say everything in a totally new way, because that's usually not very practical and very, very difficult to do. So sometimes people will think that, oh, speech therapy doesn't work. What's more important is to focus on being able to immediately correct yourself and switching to a different way of producing the sound. Okay, so there you go. You've just seen a very quick demonstration of just one specific technique to say a long S word without getting stuck or stuttering. Now, S words are actually not all the same, all right? So here we've worked with SU, so it's S followed by what we call a vowel. SU word, superpower. There are other S words followed by, other vowels such as SA words, SE words, SI words, SO, SU, and so forth, right? Then there could be other S words that are followed by what we call consonant. So things like ST, SP, SC, and so forth. Words such as school, all right, small, all right, stop, okay? So again, those may require some different techniques. So this is just a very quick, brief demonstration of one technique to show you how to say one specific long letter S word, superpower, without getting stuck. Okay, it's more important to illustrate the process. I hope it gives you better clarity on the importance of understanding the process, which is the right approach, what to focus on, like the sequence of action steps, how to practice, and this is what makes the difference between struggling and success. Right, obviously this is actually a very small part of the overall process. There's a difference between, okay, learning this technique and being able to say, superpower quietly on your own while you're practicing, versus being able to say other S words in daily conversation. Okay, so sometimes people confuse and forget that this is a very small part. And they may try to practice this and they find that, oh, I still can't say it. And then, there's a danger or a common mistake thinking that, okay, this doesn't work, speech therapy doesn't work. So saying that is a little bit like being able to do the first step of, making a cake, and just learning that first step. And then, you haven't learned the rest of the steps and you think that, oh, it doesn't work, I can't make a cake. Okay. So obviously, if I'm working with someone face-to-face, it's a lot easier to give real-time, more customized feedback. So the process will be me demonstrating it and you practicing it, and then giving you some feedback, exactly what to correct, what is correct, and you should continue, versus what is maybe not so correct and you need to change. So hopefully that gives you a better picture, some background information, gives you an idea of the process involved. If you've gotten something out of this, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. You can also check out our links below on how you can follow up if you're interested in one-to-one online sessions, or alternatively, you can also check out the links on our home study video program. You are also welcome to leave a comment below if you would like to share what other words or difficulties you encounter, and maybe share what's the best tip you got out of this video today. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you in other videos. Thank you.